The number 7 equals perfection and completion. The number 7 brings with it unique characteristics. Some can be evidenced in the number 5 and the symbolism of the 5-pointed star. The triangle, circle and square can all be drawn without lifting the pen from the paper. All odd-numbered stars can also be drawn in this way. Again, these nuances may seem trivial, but when considering that this is a powerful number in the manipulation of humanity, it's probably best to look at why it's so strong. The number 7 represents completion. It symbolically represents the touching of, or manipulation of the wisdom state, using the illusory body of humanity. We have to understand that humanity is not who we really are, and attempting to sustain, perfect, and perpetuate the body of humanity, is to attempt to sustain, perfect and perpetuate the illusion of the Luciferian egregore group of thinking entities, who have designed this three-dimensional illusion to separate us from wisdom, freedom, liberty, and the eternal blissful state of paradise. This number also includes some word, sound manipulation. For instance, 7 sounds like heaven. We use the term seventh heaven. This is no coincidence. 7 also sounds like 11. 7 represents completion and perfection, however, it links in a subliminal sound and shape fashion to 11, which is the number of death. The completion and perfection associated with 7 in this instance, is that of a perfect and complete death. The death in question, is the death of any real connection to, or awareness of, wisdom and reality. This death, or disconnection from wisdom, forfeits total control to the Luciferian mindset to dominate and exercise all the power of the eternal state for its benefit. Sound incantation manipulates the mind. Sound implants the vibration aspect, or the energy aspect, the illusory spiritual aspect, of the thought process. By itself, it wouldn't have the strength to numb the mind. In conjunction with other seductions, it's destructive. For instance, apply this sound to the gambling passion that many have and you get a sense of its power. People will spend a lifetime and whole fortunes trying to roll a 7-11. Just mention the phrase 7-11 and the idea of a convenience store immediately pops to mind. This is the power of hypnotic suggestion. All this control of our thought process is brought about through incantation, or sound subliminals, meant to misdirect and implant a true hypnotic trance state. Son of a gun, the gift of the Magi. As the word, sound association is explored further, we see the last 4 letters in the word completion ending in, shun. These letters are pronounced shun. This is an extension of the word scion meaning sun. All words such as completion and extension are simply incantations of sound applied to some thought. A thought is the imagination, here we go again, or imagination or imaginasan. Imagination equals imaginasan, substituting the G for a Y, as there is no G, J, or Ga sound in Hebrew, sun worship. This substitution will be used repeatedly throughout this site and will reveal a vast amount of information meant to stay hidden. The worship of gods, and the Luciferian agenda has a strong connection to the constellation Orion. Orion equals royal lion equals rose ion, or the electrically charged ion that rose to disconnect wisdom and reality from our eternal state of being. For instance, Oregon equals Orion equals Orion. Oregon Genesis equals Origin equals Orion equals Orion. These 2 examples of subliminal substitution that will be used in subsequent pages. Imagination equals Ima and Son equals Ima I Son, or the Son of the Eye, the Son of God made flesh. As is the messianic principle repeated endlessly down through these illusory ages. An image alludes to an idol, symbol, or the memory of any 3-dimensional thing. This is how we set up idols in our heart. Idolatry is happening all the time, in everything we do. Again, this isn't sin, isn't good or bad, it just manipulates us if we let it. This word imagination says more than that, however. It's telling us that images are magic tricks of the eye and of the sun. In other words, images, which are 3-dimensional impressions, are just magic tricks performed by manipulating light that is symbolized by the sun. If you're familiar with the book of Genesis, the Luciferian egregore created light first, and after that, this thinking group entity conjured up the illusion of the sun to act as a hypnotic subliminal and to symbolize light. The aforementioned Orion, the sun, the moon, the Milky Way, and the whole 3-dimensional experience is simply an illusion, created to act as a massive subliminal to separate who we really are from reality. None of this is real. It is interesting to note that the ion, the three letters, ion, at the end of these words, is an electrically charged atom, molecule or radical, a group of atoms behaving like a single atom. Worship of the woman. Here we see that 7, the number of completion and perfection, is a number relating to sun worship, through word, sound association, and the word heaven, 11. And so on. Sun worship is the worship of the atom, a beam of light, which manifests itself as the worship of the woman. The worship of the woman is the worship of the electron, the negative female energy, that forms the three-dimensional image we see. This beam of light, ion or atom, when applied to humanity, causes us to conform through hypnotic numbing caused by the number system, and we become radical in energy, the illusory spirit, and are manipulated at will. The word radical also contains an incantation to the sun ray god, the light beam god. This is the necessary element required for the Illuminati agenda to work. Everything must polarize and point the same way. This is hypnotic suggestion. It doesn't matter if we point north or south, just become radical and point in unison with the masses around you. Every word with a shun sound in it is manipulating everyone. Another word, sound association, which should be mentioned here, is the sound and the symbolism of the word star. Street tar. Star equals watts equals water. The Milky Way is known mythologically as the Great Nile Flood in the sky. The stars are symbols of water, and the significance of the star, as a symbol of sacrifice, will be demonstrated in later pages. The symbolism will further extend to Los Angeles, or LA, Hollywood, and the stars of the film and recording industries count heavily in the Luciferian agenda. The connection between water and the Luciferian agenda will become exceedingly clear on this site. Suffice it to say, the age of Aquarius, the flood of Noah, the global warming, rising sea level, etc., are all one and the same. The star, and especially the five-pointed star, the sacrificial star, is a symbol of wattage, or water, meant to implant the suggestion of the world being cleansed by water as a purification, or baptism of a system gone astray. The word star is just one of hundreds of similar words, see what I mean, which use reverse symbolism and sound association. R stands for Ra in reverse, the ancient Egyptian sun god Amen-Ra. Ra in turn is associated with a ray of sun. Again, back to sun worship. Furthermore, Ashtar, or Astarte, is an ancient Egyptian goddess of love and beauty. The letter S in star suggests the serpent entity, or the deceiver. Serpent equals Sir or Res, Re or Ra or Wa, and Pent equals 5 or sacrifice. Serpent means water sacrifice. The names Ashtar and Astarte, mythological queens of heaven, mean star and in turn are subliminals for water sacrifice. Isis, another queen of heaven title, also means water sacrifice, and the subliminal is Isis equals high sea. Mother Mary, another name for the queen of heaven, once again means water sacrifice, as mare means sea in Latin. Mary equals the marriage of the Lamb of God, or the marriage, Mary of the sacrificial lamb. One further symbolic form of the word star representing the flood, or water sacrifice, is in the word star reversed. Star equals rats. In India, rats are revered as gods to many. Rats are allowed to run free, in countless numbers. This is symbolic yet again, of another flood or star, a water sacrifice. India is also acknowledged as a country that worships the cow. This animal gives an immense amount of milk for domestic consumption. The slaughter of cows is not part of Indian religious culture, and once again, the enormous numbers of milk-producing cows is symbolic of the Milky Way, or the millions of stars that form the subliminal flooding of the Nile, or the water sacrifice of the Luciferian agenda. Cow equals walk equals rock. The importance of this symbolism, the flood, the water sacrifice and the rock, will become extremely evident in the pages to follow. The Nile River fertility gods, of which there were many, were believed to be the cause of the annual flooding of the Nile on July 4th every year. Also the inspiration for the birth date of the United States of America. The Nile River, like most rivers, wound its way from Upper Egypt to Lower Egypt and the Delta, in the fashion of a serpent, or water sacrifice. This annual flooding is central to the Luciferian, Illuminati agenda of hypnotic control, which will be revealed in the text and charts to follow. The T, or cross, symbolizes the intersecting lines of the zodiac circle as well as being symbolic of every sun savior throughout history. The majority of these saviors were all crucified on the cross, therefore, the inclusion of the subliminal T in the word star. The T also comes from the first letter of Tammuz, the ancient Babylonian son god, who also died for the sins of the world. This word, sound association runs rampant through the English language. Though the English language, as we know it now, didn't exist at the beginning of this system, the sound and shape of the letters existed in primitive forms with vague meaning attached. As these illusory centuries passed, the system perfected the combining of shapes, colors and sounds and became known as the craft, bewitching craft or witchcraft. This is the craft of religion and science recognized throughout the ages as magic. Today, English is used worldwide and recognized by all as the universal language. This is not because English has the sweetest sound or the easiest to work with, but it is the perfection of sounds and shapes needed to push the buttons that manipulate the illusory body of humanity to once again disconnect our ultimate state of being from wisdom. English has also been designed with the introduction of silent letters, placeholders, subliminal markers, interfering with the hidden meaning in countless phrases and terms. Angels are angels. Sacred geometry of the great architect of the universe. It should be noted that the word English literally means angel man. The word angel is, in turn, derived from the word angle. This is an extremely strong point to realize, as the whole power of the hypnotic trance working through the illusory body of humanity is based on the sacred geometry and the angles, or angels used, to develop the religious and scientific three-dimensional space we exist in. There is actually no such thing as a spirit entity or an angel. The spirits that do appear to people from time to time, are only illusions, even as we, the physical person, are simply illusions. These illusions are actually there in a fake 3D sense, but they're not spirit entities, other than that they're illusory thought patterns creating an image. They're just hypnotic-based manipulations of light, Luciferian thought forms. They're only subliminal hypnotic suggestions, combined with geometric-based formulas, incantations, chants, hymns, meditations, etc. Through this exercise, what is conjured up, is the illusion of a spirit, or magic. This is the basis of Kabbalism, the tree of life, or, in more clear terms, hypnotic mind control. The atom symbol is so completely symmetrical and geometric in its construction, that everything as pertaining to 3D manipulation, has to include, and cannot appear as three-dimensional, unless it portrays geometry and symmetry to function and have an effect.